What's happening, Marvel fans? I am the Owl here with a streaming series review. Happy New Year! Yes, we are like 28 days, 29 days into the new year, and I'm just getting a review out here for you for 2025. Um, hey, what's up, guys? I missed y'all too. I'm sorry that I haven't been getting reviews out for a while. A lot of big stuff has been going on with my life. So I've been just trying to, slowly try to transition. Moved recently. I'm getting engaged, all that other type of stuff. So a lot's been going on my plate, but things have been slowing down a little bit. So over the next few months or so, I should slowly start to get back into the groove of things and try to put out some more movie reviews, show reviews, other type of stuff. But yeah, I am back, and yeah, I know there's a lot to catch up on with when it comes to many different franchises. So that is what I'm here to do. But anyway, we are back talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios. Um, yeah, I have a couple of shows that I have not talked about yet, and I want to get my thoughts out there on the ones I've missed before Captain America Brave New World comes out. So that's what we're doing. But today, you saw the title. We are finally going to be talking about Agatha All Along, the most recent series that has been released on Disney Plus. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this show. Oh, and I guess I'll let you guys know that there might be some minor spoilers here and there. The show's been out for a minute, so I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it. So I'll touch on a couple of important details since it's been out for a minute. I'm sure people want to hear my thoughts on certain things. So I'm going to try not to dance around everything. So I'm not going to go out my way to talk about all the spoilers though. But if you still haven't seen the show and you don't want to know anything about it, I would say go and watch it and then come back and listen to this. So yeah, you've been warned. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I have not been the biggest fan of the Marvel shows, the majority of them. And I know that's not a popular opinion because I know there's a good amount of people that have enjoyed a good amount of the Marvel shows. But for me, a lot of them just really was a struggle to get through. Um, One of them that I know this is a very unpopular opinion for a lot of people. Um, WandaVision. I think that was the first Disney Plus MCU show they put out, and I was not a fan of that show. I wasn't. I know that's probably one of the more popular MCU shows. People still talk about it to this day. And for me, I couldn't get with it. I'll say the first half of the show I thought was really interesting when they were going through the different eras of TV shows. I thought that was very creative. But once we started getting into the real world stuff, that's when I thought the show started to get really convoluted. And one of the characters that I didn't care about at all was Agatha Harkness, played by Catherine Hahn. I'm not even the biggest fan of Catherine Hahn, and so I wasn't exactly excited to see her interpretation of Agatha. I'm not even a big Agatha fan. Um, and when I saw her in the show, I felt like she was a waste. They were building her up to make her feel like she was important, but then when we actually got towards the climax and the end of the show, it ended up that she didn't really play that much of a factor anyway, other than having a big fight with Wanda. So, and then they just end off with her staying in this hypnotized state by Wanda, and we don't see from her until this show. So, to me, she didn't really play a factor into anything that important. On top of the fact that I just didn't care about her character. So when I heard that they wanted to do a spinoff with her, I'm like, what? Why? Why are we doing this? Like they're just trying to make shows out of anybody nowadays. Like even when it doesn't warrant it. Like who was really like anticipating Agatha show. I won't put that question out there to be like, did anybody ask for this show? Like, I guess that's not really fair to say. You won't really know what you want until you get it. But really, were people really like excited to see an Agatha show? I certainly wasn't. I thought that was really a waste of time. But we were gonna get it anyway. This show went through a couple of delays. I think it was supposed to come out a couple years before it actually had its actual date in 2024. But either way, it's not like I was excited to see it. So if there was going through some delays, I mean that's par for the course for some of Marvel's stuff, right? Because they've been having they're kind of in a rocky state right now ever since Phase 4 started. So I just hope it doesn't turn to another Blade situation, but it didn't. It ended up getting released. On the way though, there was some weird stuff that I've seen about the show. For example, the whole thing about the show getting numerous title names, and that just like confused me and frustrated me to no end. It started out as Agatha, House of Harkness, and then it changed to Agatha, Coven of Chaos, and then it changed to Agatha, Darkhold Diaries, and then I thought this was a joke. I literally thought this was a joke. They retitled it briefly to Agatha, the Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe, and I'm like, what the hell is this show? What is this show trying to be? And so like at this point, I was kind of expecting this to be a dumpster fire. Would it be worse than Secret Invasion? I don't know. Hopefully not. You have to put in work to be worse than Secret Invasion. But literally, my expectations were so low to the ground. And then when they actually released the trailer for the show, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I guess it's giving me some like Hocus Pocus vibes mixed with a little bit of a Netflix Sabrina a little bit. So, I will say this: it didn't look like it was going to be a typical Marvel show. It looked like it was trying to be its own thing as far as tone and structure. So, I was okay with that. And then also seeing that Aubrey Plaza was going to be in this show, I thought, oh, that's cool. I like Aubrey Plaza quite a bit, and this seemed to be something different for what she usually takes for roles. So I'm wondering what she's going to do. Is she going to be a villain? Is she going to be, I don't know, is she going to be friends with Agatha? I don't even know. But yeah, going into this show, like I said, I didn't have a lot of expectations, but hoping it wouldn't be completely awful. So sitting down and watching this, I thought it was pretty forgettable. I'm sorry to say. I know this is like there's people that really enjoy this show, and if you do, that's fine. I'm not trying to take it away from you, and I really tried. I did give it a chance. I tried to come in this with an open mind, but this is once again a show I don't feel like I would revisit again. I don't think this is awful. There are some good / interesting things here and there about the show, but once again, I'm just like, why did this even get made? I'm sure it's going to set up to things in the future, but like right now, as it stands, I was just confused the entire time. One of my biggest issues with this show is the rules of this world that they're establishing with witches. Once again, this is a similar thing that I felt watching Moon Knight a long time ago, because that was a similar thing where it's like I don't understand the rules of the of Moon Knight. I don't understand the magic or the sorcery in that. And it feels like it's changing its rules every episode. It had a similar feel watching Agatha. Like, okay, we're going to establish that there's witches and witchcraft. So we're going to fully go into this witch world, which I'm like, I'm open to that. But the problem is that I didn't understand what was going on half the time. And it's like they felt like they just kept adding rules and stakes and like stuff like that, and for no reason. And it's just like it was hard for me to follow, because like with them adding so many weird concepts and stuff with spells and oh we got to go into this portal, we got to go into this world. I'm like, where does I felt like there was nothing grounded about that at all. And to that point, I didn't feel any stakes because like anything could happen at any moment and any character could get themselves out of a horrible situation. They just got to say a bunch of weird witch spells or they have to sing their way out of a situation in order for them to be okay. And that's what I pretty much felt the entire time. This whole journey with Agatha trying to get her powers back, going on the witch's road, I was lost the entire time. And I really tried to pay attention. I really tried to understand what was going on, but it just got more and more confusing as the episodes went on. At first, when it first started, I thought it was going to go into a similar direction as WandaVision because they start her out as some sort of like FBI agent, or she's like in some type of hypnotic state to make her think that she's an FBI agent, but she's not because Wanda put her in that state. And so I thought they were going to retread the stuff from WandaVision of like, oh, she's going to feel like she's a completely different person, and she's going to go through different types of personas or whatever until she actually gets back to normal. I'm actually glad they didn't do that because I was really like, are we really going to be treading the same direction as WandaVision? Thank God they didn't do that. But then the direction they decide to go with, I'm like, is this any better? I don't know. As far as Catherine Hahn as Agatha, I don't like her. I don't. I don't care for her as a character. She's not a likable person. She just comes off annoying a lot of the times, and she's mean spirited. And she's supposed to be the main character. Like, why am I supposed to care about her? Like, she doesn't go through this really, great arc that really changes her or makes us, change our perspective on her. Like, she's the exact same person she was from the beginning of the show to the end. And there might be a couple of touching moments that they had with her, but she still just is like the same annoying, unlikable, selfish witch that she was from WandaVision. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just like the character and how it's written, or if it's Catherine Hahn's performance. But it's her. She is not working for me. I really could care less about what happens to her. And I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that she's like the worst Marvel character they introduced. There's definitely worse ones out there. But as far as the character they're trying to push to be like one of the main factors of, I can't even say that. Like, is she going to play a huge role in the MCU? I don't know. It seems like they're slowly trying to push her that way, but I could care less about that. Can we bring back Captain Marvel? I'm not even joking, because Captain Marvel is actually coming around for me a lot more ever since the Marvels. Like, can we push her again? Like, I don't want this Agatha nonsense. It's like I don't know what we're doing here with her, but it's not working. And then when it comes to Joe Locke as Teen, aka Billy Maximoff, like he's Billy. I thought he was fine. I always wondered like if they were going to bring back Wanda's kids in the MCU and how they were going to do it, because like you kind of had a feeling that they were going to do it, but it was just a matter of when and how. And I guess this is probably the most appropriate place for him to come back, but once again, it feels like he's lost in the shuffle with the other stuff going on. They try to give him backstory. They try to like establish where he came from and how he started getting powers and stuff like that. And I don't know, it didn't feel like it was enough. It didn't spend enough time with him as a character, and like we couldn't really get to know him because most of the time we didn't even know his name. And so it's like, why are we keeping that a secret? Why is that so big? Oh, I guess because it's Wanda's son, and so they wanted to make that a big surprise or whatever. But like, if you really think about it, you probably could put two and two together that ended up being Billy. So I don't know. As far as his performance, I thought he was fine. He was probably one of the more likable characters in the show. One of the more quote unquote memorable things about the show. but I wish they didn't just push him to the side for Agatha, because honestly, I think his backstory is more interesting than whatever they're doing with Agatha, the little that we got from him. And then when it came to the other witches, I really don't have that much to say. I really don't. Alice, Jennifer, and Lilia, I don't have that much to say about them. I really don't. I like you have Patty LuPone in here who is great, and she doesn't. They don't give her much to work with, and I would say the most interesting out of the three is probably Alice, because there's some stuff with her backstory that could have been very emotionally compelling. The stuff with her mother and stuff like that, when they're having visions going on, when they're going on the witch's road, and they could have dove more into that, but they didn't. So like her character fell flat. I didn't care for Jennifer's character. Like I don't know. It just, there was nothing there for me. I'm sorry, there wasn't. There's nothing that really I could like attach to as far as like, me being invested in anything going on with these three. Like there's barely anything there. As I said, Alice has some stuff, but not enough. And then Sharon, why is she in the show? That's all I gotta say. Why was she in the show? She was just dragged to this show for no reason. There's nothing real I can say about her either. Poor Sharon, especially if you know what happens to her in the show. Like this is where I've said that this show's very mean spirited, and like what they do to her character, specifically, I'm like, wow, okay, great. Ralph Boner's in here too for no reason, because he was in WandaVision, and he tells some important things to Billy, and that's about it. What? It's just so frustrating that, this is supposed to be the multiverse saga, and they're not capitalizing on the multiverse saga enough. And it's like you literally have Quicksilver from the Fox universe, and you continue to not do anything interesting with them. It's just, I just don't know what's going on here. Probably the best character in this show is Aubrey Plaza as Rio, aka Death. She was actually really good in this show, and I thought that the interactions that she has with Agatha, I thought was some of the best parts of the show. Whenever she's on screen, she's actually very good. And once again, it's like the show is trying to push her and give her more scenes, but we can't, because we have to once again go back to the bullshit that Agatha is doing. It feels like Agatha once again is pushing her to the side, even though she's way more interesting than Agatha. And I thought she had the potential to be a really good villain, but they don't give her enough to actually chew up scenery. Even though Aubrey Plaza, like she did such a really good performance in this show, I'm actually very impressed. I didn't think she had this type of range, and it's really cool to see. And for them to actually like believe in her enough to play Death in the Marvel universe, like that's crazy. Like part of me wishes that we could rewind the Thanos stuff and incorporate Aubrey Plaza's Death into that. I think that would have been cool, especially her costume design as Death when she had like the skeleton mouth. That actually looked legit horrifying. Like that's the type of stuff I wanted more of. That I wanted more of like the magical horror type of stuff. I wanted them to lean more into the dark and crazy mystical stuff that I know this universe can do. If you've seen Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, you know what the MCU is capable of doing as far as magic and sorcery, and that was this show's chance of doing that. But what did they decide to do? They just decided to do silly crap like being in a band and playing a song that has a witch's spell on it, like some hocus pocus bullshit. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know, man. Like, and overall, I thought the whole start of the premise I thought was ridiculous, because Rio in the beginning of the show is attempting to kill Agatha because of stuff she done in the past, and like she's at her most vulnerable. She has no powers at that point. Rio could easily just kill her right then and there. But what does she do? She decides not to kill her because Agatha influences her to wait until she gets her powers back to defend herself because she thinks that would be a much more honorable death. So if you can get over a dumb setup like that, I'm sure you'll be fine for the rest of the show. But that was one of the things I honestly couldn't get over. Like, as much as I love Rio, that was a stupid decision that she did. You have Agatha there at her most vulnerable. She has no powers, and you literally could kill her right then and there. But you let her get into your head and be like, let me get my powers back, and let it actually be a fair fight so it could actually be more of an honorable death for you. Why would you even care about that? You are deaf. Why would you even care about that? But I digress. I would say, and also I would say that once again, this is another one of those Marvel shows where the finale just sucked ass. It really did. The second to last episode of the show actually was really good, and they should have just ended it off there. But the last episode they had made absolutely no sense, and now we have Agatha the Ghost. What am I watching? What is going on right now? Like, what? This show just frustrated me to no end. It really did. I really tried to get with it, guys. I really did. Like, this had the potential to be something kind of cool, especially with the witchcraft stuff, because I thought that could be something that could have been really something unique for the MCU. Even though we've seen some elements of it here and there in other projects, but this is a chance for them to fully dive into it. Like, this could have been their man. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it's gonna be their next Harry Potter because I don't think it would even go there. But like, the concept of the show could have been really cool, but I thought they just really ruined it with the story and just the premise, the conflict. It just all felt so confusing, and I felt like the most irritating thing about this show is the title character herself. I just don't care for Agatha as a character. I don't care to see her again in any other installments. I don't care about how big, how much of a factor she plays into other movies or shows or whatever. Like, it's just, she is not doing it for me. Will I be interested in seeing stuff with Billy? Sure. There could be potential if they ever want to do like a Young Avengers or something like that. There could be potential with that. Would I want to see more with Def? Absolutely. No, Rio, played by Aubrey Plaza, did an amazing job. I would love to see more from her. But everything else, it's very bland. It's very forgettable. It's like I could care less about it. So once again, like, this show it's not the worst thing I've ever watched, but this is not good to me. This is not good. I don't want to watch this again. So I'm gonna give Agatha All Along. I'll give it a D+. It annoyed me to no end. But those are my thoughts on Agatha All Along. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the other Marvel shows? How does this compare to WandaVision? Are you guys excited to see more from Agatha in the universe? Did you like Catherine Hahn in this? How did you feel about Aubrey Plaza? How did you feel about the reveal of Billy Maximoff? Comment your thoughts down below and let me know. So, the next project I will be talking about MCU-wise is the final season of What If. So tune in for that when it comes out. But if you guys enjoyed this review, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. But that's all I have for you, Marvel fans, and I will catch you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. It was Agatha all along.